On October 25th, as you know, Rishi Sunak took office as Prime Minister of Great Britain and spoke. He spoke on the topic of the situation in Ukraine and our country. We noticed that already in his first public speech. He reproduced the hackneyed thesis about Russia's alleged responsibility for the economic hardships that the world is facing. It turns out that the new British leadership immediately made it clear to us that it intends to continue the Russophobic course of its predecessors. Given the continued anti-Russian consensus in the British political establishment, many of us did not expect a different approach to relations with our country. Although, one must answer for the words. If we are talking about such an analysis, in quotation marks, then it would be necessary to cite some facts. We are very much looking forward to the development of the thesis from the British side, which was applied and voiced by the Prime Minister of Great Britain. This thesis must be proven by facts. I have a big request. I would like someone to provide me with graphs, numbers, tables. The attempt by the new British Prime Minister to lay the blame on Moscow for the numerous mistakes in the Conservatives' economic program should put Britain's subjects on their guard. We can only recommend that London take an objective look at the situation that is developing inside the kingdom and address the pressing problems of the British economy. I would like to remind you that London, official structures, I'm not even talking about public figures, characterize this situation as an internal economic crisis. You probably remember that not so long ago the reasons that aggravated the situation were named, namely, the absolutely unprofessional actions of the previous Prime Minister of Great Britain. Are we to blame for this? This was her program. It was these actions that provoked another round of the economic crisis in the UK. Now a representative of the same party has come again. Maybe that's the reason. In order to get their party out of harm's way, he again names Russia as responsible for their own mistakes. No. They did it all themselves. It would be great if they themselves were responsible for their deeds. They need to answer to us for blaming us for their problems. And globally, they need to answer to the British. I would say, answer to the British voters, but I can't. After all, they did not elect this or the previous Prime Minister. Accordingly, apparently, the British Prime Ministers do not bear any obligations to the citizens, since the citizens have nothing to do with their election. This is some absolutely amazing story of singling out leaders from the Conservative Party of Britain who occupy the chair of the Prime Minister. This is some kind of democracy's turns. Of course, I did not think that the 21st century would be so colored by a perverted interpretation of democratic processes. But now we see it. Indeed, the use of propaganda cliches and Russophobia, it must be realized, will not bring the UK out of recession, will not reduce record inflation rates, a growing budget deficit, and a skyrocketing level of public debt, and so on. Well, no matter how many times they utter the word Russia, no, they will have to overcome it themselves. Yes, if we talk about Russia, then, of course, it is possible to establish economic ties with us, for example. This will perhaps give the British economy new strength, and so on, but this is a completely different story, not related to the accusations of our country. I would like to point out again that the political process in the UK is surprising. I would not say so if they would not constantly impose it as a model, would not teach others, and would not blame others for their troubles. I repeat, the British Prime Minister was not elected by the British. The local political establishment decided that the 193 members of the Conservative faction in the House of Commons would have a better understanding of this issue than British citizens. These are the realities.
Dear friends, if you like this video, please subscribe, like and write a comment. This will greatly help the development of this channel. Thank you.